Hi guys, I'm Sam Kim.
I never wanna hold you back, don't lean on me. Where's my money and where's my car?
I'm Simon Petrén, I'm from Sweden.
Because I'm fearless. Don't run away.
We produced the Juice together.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about that today.
Welcome to React to the K. It is an absolute honor to have you two here, and I am thrilled to talk about the musicality and the meaning behind the Juice with you guys today.
Oh, yeah.
So can you please give our viewers a little introduction of the song, maybe a summary about its meaning?
The last song that I released was a song called Where's My Money? And it's about basically me complaining about life like the rebellious teenager that I am. After Where's My Money, I had a really long hiatus, about 2 years. And that was because I wasn't very confident in terms of music and figuring things out, figuring myself out and all that stuff. And the Juice kind of sums up that whole process of me, you know, not wanting to do music and me just kind of being in this slump and not being confident. We wrote this song how many years ago?
Wasn't it like after Igina's wedding?
Yes.
Yeah. After wedding, I met him. I'm like, okay, let's write a song today. When I see him, you know. And then we went to my studio and
Yeah. We did that and then wrote the Juice. Fell into this really deep slump. Finally broke out of it. Contacted Simon 14 years later and I was like, yo, I listened to the Juice after half a century and I'm really digging it. It's a really good song. It's so crazy how like your confident levels can deceive your ears for listening to like music, especially if it's like your own work. Anything that I wrote, I was just not confident in for some reason. And later listening to it, I was like, wow, this is really good.
Right.
What is that? But anyways, yeah, the Juice. That's what that's all about. It's the Juice, baby.
Yes, a lot of people can relate to what you've gone through, Sam. So thank you so much for sharing that. Simon, so you joined Antenna Music first to write for Igina, right?
yes. Actually, I met all of you at the same time. Like Sam Kim, Konjina, Igina, like almost all the guys. And it just happened, Igina she's pretty fast, you know, writes she's music in real time and like she
knows her stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You other guys, you kind of think about it
We're a little bit more, you know, emotional. If you that was actually my first ever like song camp session with somebody else. And yeah, we wrote Rainy Days, which we'll talk about later, but
Yeah, I was curious how the very first day happened. Was it just in passing while you're writing for Igina, or if it was a scheduled songwriting camp in which Rainy Days or any of your other songs were written?
a song camp is pretty much where a producer or an artist meets another artist, or just a person meets a person and they just write for that day. They write whatever comes to mind. And if it's good, it's good. If it's shit, it's shit. It doesn't matter. You just write, right? And it was one of my first times ever doing a song camp. I remember just being really nervous because for one, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I was very hungover that day.
Oh.
I was so hungover. Like I said, first time ever doing a song camp. So just like the nerves, and I wanted to impress Simon, obviously. I remember he was just being like, no, it's fine. Everything is fine. This is fine.
I don't worry. I'm just like a catalyst. I try to like take whatever talent is and just record it, you know, without destroying it.
Yeah, you're really good at that. He's a robot. You give him coffee and he just sits there for like 13 hours straight, mixing on the go, recording take
Feed the talent.
after take after take, and he never tires. It's insane to see his workflow.
Sam, you did mention on your interview on KBS, maybe you've already told Simon this, but when you were asked to name what producer writing sessions have gone most smoothly with, you mentioned Simon. And so I'm curious, was that chemistry born the very first day, or was it as you began to work more and more with each other, you started becoming comfortable with each other's roles or how you acted in during sessions?
I would say the chemistry was there from the get-go. So I was always doubting myself. Even now I still struggle with that, but just always doubting myself in every decision that I make. But having somebody like Simon be like, dude, just do whatever. He just made it such a comforting space for me to just write.
New writers, they might not have like the structure of like a professional pop writer. So that's maybe what I did. I just like cut your ideas in half, and then it was like good song.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
like-
So yeah, that's basically what we did. I would go off on a tangent like I always do. And then he'd be like, okay, let's steer this way, and then kind of organize it. I'm just like a tree that grows, and he's the person that's like...
All right. Cutting it down.
Yeah, trimming and
Right.
organizing.
Puts up the wire to like keep some branches steadier than the others.
Exactly. And that's what I love about like writing with Simon.
Okay, so more on the birth of the Juice. Sam, a while back on Eric Nam's K-pop debak show, you said you wanted to try out idol music next. So was wanting to do a song more rhythmically upbeat and more idol-like one of the main reasons why you chose the Juice, or is it simply because like this is a lit song?
After having such a long hiatus, coming out with a soft ballad wouldn't hit hard enough. That's the kind of mindset I was in. I wanted to come out with a bang. You know, after all these months, like 2 years of just kind of sitting around and moping around, I kind of woke up. I listened to the Juice with a fresh new perspective, and I was like, yo, this is sick. A huge driving force for me was my company. My boss, Yuier, he was like, yo, you need to wake the hell up, dude. Because, like, you know, you're talented. If you don't believe in yourself, I don't know what else to say, because you got talent, kid. And he kind of dragged me out of the slump I was in.
So you woke up from the slum, Yu-Hyo shook you awake, he's like, let's do something. And then you listened to the Juice and you called up Simon. Did you guys decide to make any changes to the Juice after deciding on that song being the comeback song?
Yeah, a lot of changes.
Actually, we said like, let's meet and write the bridge. And then we like checked, and we actually had a bridge written, which I never bounced.
Right. We had multiple versions of it, and the latest version of it had a bridge. The "What's the use? Oh no!"
Yeah.
That's the bridge, and we forgot that we had it.
And then we met anyway, just to final check, and then we changed a lot more.
Yeah. So I don't think we didn't really change anything. We added.
Yeah, we had it. Like the second verse was the same as the first verse in original.
And then we decided to make a jungle.
Yeah, the samba things. Yeah. Right. So the first verse is.
내가 좀 변했대. Okay, yeah. 솔직히 말할게. 'Cause I think about it.
Basically this looping. Second verse starts the same, but then he wanted to rap, and he sent me a lot of like rap versions.
I did.
Usually I'm positive, but I'm like, man, you like the energy is kind of going down, and he wanted like a slow part. But I said no once, and then he said, "Oh, I want to do it." I said, "Okay, let's do it." So like, because the challenge is to keep the energy up, because the pre-chorus is going down.
Right.
So if you're going down in the verse as well, it's going to be like a slump.
Yeah,
basically.
slump.
So we have to keep building the second verse all the way to the bridge somehow, even if it's like dreamy or Latin or.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Yeah, we understand. Okay, yeah.
Similar.
We're sick of hearing all the things that people had to say. We love you, man.
Same background, but rapping. Maybe sing rapping. And then this part was actually Sam's little. He sent me this little. What is it? Salsa or some kind of Latin.
내버려두게도만 지고 싶어도도만 가림이 없는 실망 시키는 새끼 dopey.
And then also you had a double breakbeat. At this
Yeah.
point.
And then this is the DMB.
Yeah, you wanna survive. You wanna just stay.
So basically what happened was Sam was like, okay, I want to rap in the second verse, and then you tried to build the production around that to keep the energy moving forward. So the top line came first?
So what happened was, as we kept developing the song, obviously I had to go through the challenge of writing the Korean lyrics, because we can show them, but the demo, my songs are 90% always start off in English, and then we have to go through the whole process of changing it into Korean. And so in that process, sometimes the melody changes and the rhythm changes. That's why I respect lyricists so much, is because finding a pretty vowel, like, you know, you can say something like, you can sing something like, oh, I love water so much in the valley, you know, and but it sounds so much
emphasize.
better. Yeah, what you emphasize and all that stuff, it's different how Korean flows. And so as I was writing the second verse, I thought that it was always the same. It was the same as the first verse, but then I wanted to change it because it sounded so repetitive in Korean.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's how that came to be.
And you had full rap from the start, and then I said, let's keep a little bit of the melody,
That's
just
right,
by
that's
like
right.
pop thinking to remind listener this
So I
is
was
the
going-
verse, and then.
Yep. I was going too much this way, so he was like, all right, well, how about this?
But I like it. I love it now. I always love the challenges. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're actually going to go back to the beginning of the song, and you mentioned that the very first thing that happened when you started writing The Juice was the intro, Tom Misch, you know, the hi-hat rhythm. What made you decide to quote his song?
We haven't met for a while.
Right.
And then we met at Ijina's wedding.
Right.
It was just like a random, after the wedding, what are you doing? I'm bored. Let's hang out. We came to the studio. We were listening to music.
Yeah.
We had no plans of writing anything that day. Just talking and just chilling. Listening to music, seeing what's going on. I was really into Tom Misch at that time. So I was like, do you know of this guy? And I played it. And then the hi-hat, you know how it's in the beginning, it's just empty.
Yeah.
It's just the hi-hats that we sampled.
Yeah.
Right. So,
That's how it started.
It was probably just like a placeholder instead of a click, you know, something to write to.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
And then we had it, and then like it's such a good hi-hat. So when you mute it, it's like
Yeah, the texture and everything was so perfect.
Yeah, it's
and
like-
so we ended up messaging Tom, can we use this as a sample? And he was like, yeah, like, hey, so I have this song called The Juice. And he was gracious enough to be like, yo, this is sick. Do it. And I was like, thank you so much. And that's how it came to be.
Yeah.
Even later in the song, at least fans have theories that you reference some other things, and I'm not sure where I read this, but the pan flute that you do bring in the breakdown section towards the second half of the second verse, was that inspired by the video game soundtrack?
for sure.
Wait.
It was?
Yeah, when I was really young, I was gifted a PlayStation 1 from my older cousin.
Hey.
And he was really into RPGs. Like, the OGs will know what I'm talking about. Chrono Cross, Dragon Quest, like all these JRPGs, and the OSTs for those games are really insane. And most of them are created, I learned this from Simon, from the Roland whatever.
Yeah. It's like a physical module.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's exactly where I got the inspiration from. I was like showing him all my favorite OSTs from the games that I used to play when I was like, 10, 11 years old.
I mean, all the producers back then had this same MIDI module with the same sounds. So if you had the flute sound, it's gonna be that flute sound.
Like number 11.
Because my older brother had this like kind of Roland sound modules when he produced back in the 90s, early 90s, when I was like 10.
Yeah.
So I remember all the preset numbers, so I could find the flute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
There-
that is
there she
so
is.
nostalgic.
Yeah, there is like this old crappy plugin with like Roland, all the bad sounds from 90s.
Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, I just had a huge wow.
Yes.
Whoa. Simon,
Yes.
I'm being teleported into Majora's Mask
Oh
right
my
now.
goodness.
Were there any other instrumental moments inspired by random things, or?
I don't know, it said Bruno Mars synth here, I guess. This is like his... It's like this kind of 24K, of course, that vibe, right?
Oh yeah.
Usually when you do pop, like song camps, you have to like fetch a lot of inspiration from references and like artists and like, but this guy's like, I don't need to look at YouTube at all. It just comes out, the groove and like ideas and RPGs
And he just kind of like, yep,
So
let's
there's
trim
no-
that, and then let's bam.
Yeah.
Let's listen to the bridge real quick, because there might be something in there.
정말지다 이렇게 끝나겠어 Oh no 답 없어 난
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, like these little ideas, they weren't technically inspired by anything other than the lyrics, but I'd have written all the lyrics, and then we'd be like days away from mixing and mastering and finalizing the song, and I'd be like, hold on, let's do this. And so this part right here, like where it slows down and it's like, oh no.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's like those little ideas that...
So you wanted to take the like Pac-Man dying sound and put it in.
That's right.
And we tried it, and I said like that's gonna be copyright problems. Cause like Tom Misch is one thing, but like was it Nintendo or who makes the Pac-Man?
It's like Nintendo or
They
something.
you can't really joke with them. But we did something like dying, you know, in the instruments.
That's exactly what.
And
I
in the video,
to...
there's like a Pac-Man thing.
Is there?
It is.
Yeah, there's little glitches in the background around you.
In the music video, but that's exactly what I wanted to portray, like the something kind of like dying and fizzing out.
So I guess. Yeah.
Oh man, and if you really get into the details of like all the syncopations,
Right.
oh, that's dirty.
I mean, it's sirens and like pitch bend going down.
If you just listen to the relationship between the
Right.
and all these are all his little details. These are all Simon's details that, and it's just, it boggles my mind how much he can play.
Almost only with Sam I do, because there's so much groove coming from you, so I gotta like.
So it's just like all these syncopations, triplets, quad. I don't even know.
But I mean, you always sit in the room like you do these kind of things with your mouth.
Do I?
Yeah, like Michael Jackson. He like always sing these rhythms, and I just try to play them. You know?
Yeah, it's insane.
You probably sang that thing. Yeah.
So no, I don't know what to say.
I just put it in, put the drums in.
I'm so proud of this song.
It's so high as well.
It's super high. This is another tangent, but if you notice all my songs, I'm very limited to how I write because of my vocal range. And that's why I try so hard to increase my vocal range. The highest note that I can reach, like okay to hear, is an A. So if you listen to all my songs, it's da da da. My songwriting is based on how far my range goes. That's why I'm always increasing it. If you listen back to my old EPs, the highest note I could reach was a G. So Seattle, Mama Don't Worry, was G. The highest note in Mama Don't Worry is G sharp. And you can see my vocals kind of improving one semitone at a time.
Yeah, no, this song is such a wonderful encapsulation of almost everything, like vocal intensity and musicality and difficulty. Like, you just nail it.
Thank you.
We recorded demo, and then we recorded real vocal, and then the demo is better. Because some phrases weren't as good when we sang it again. Like this phrase. We recorded it again, and it was way worse. We couldn't really figure out why. It's because you sang in tune. So we had to like make it out of tune.
Yeah, when I first recorded the demo, it felt really good, and then when I came to record the official vocals, I was singing it perfectly, like just as I sang it in the demo, but something was like off. Like, why doesn't it feel good? We looked at it in, you can see it on the screen right now. This shows you what the pitch is.
So this would be perfect, yes.
So I was singing it like pretty in tune, like
Right, pitch perfect. Like,
that's like too perfect.
Tapping it out on the piano almost.
Super clean. And then we realized in the demo I was super sharp, like really sharp.
This is like 30% too high.
30% too high, but it
It
feels
sounds
better.
great. It sounds natural, right? Yeah, it has that grit.
But I mean, when you're excited and when you smile, the pitch will go higher.
Based on how I feel that day, you know, I can probably be like super sad and I'll actually be flatter, or I'll be like really hyper and I'll sing a little sharp. But it's funny. It's really interesting, actually.
And also, some people sing straight like this, and then it's gonna be obvious it's out of tune.
Ooh.
That sounds off. But when you have the like vibrato and like natural, then it's gonna match it. It's like shaking enough to distract the ear, even if it's too high.
We should show them the last one too. Like,
Which one?
we were like, how far
yeah.
can we take this? And we went on like a completely different scale.
It's this. That is actually purely major.
Yeah. So it's like, so in the first one it's C, and then on the second one it's like C. It's like it's slight. I don't know, but
And
it
also-
feels good.
And all this one is way too high.
Yeah.
That's like out at the moon.
It's
It's
much
just-
too high.
I mean, we could tune it, but
Doesn't feel right.
right here. Yeah.
So many details. We can talk about this for hours.
Yeah.
Right. Can we listen to the pre-chorus?
Sure.
Oh, got me going crazy like,
And
got me going crazy like,
right.
got me going crazy like.
-12 plus 2. -24 minus 12. I think, as I remember, you mumbled the idea, and we usually record it fast so we don't forget. And then I really liked the mumbling feeling, so we just kept it mumbly all the way.
Definitely.
Then we re-recorded the real vocals. And you
Yeah.
made it
Yeah,
super like clear.
So the recording this was really difficult because it's the official day. It's D-Day to record the official vocals. So I'm like ready, and I'm just like, all right, we got this. Let's go. And so I'm here trying to sing like super clear and precise, like got me going crazy, blame it. You know, but when in fact the like ooh got me going crazy, like that's the vibe that fits it the best instead of ooh got me going crazy like ooh. But to answer your question, I think the intention definitely was there. If you hear me singing live, I do try to be like ooh got me going crazy, like got me going crazy, like
Right.
you know, try to crescendo into it.
And then like every song you can see here, that's like the master volume out. I do this before every chorus.
So another producer tip.
It's like 2 dB. So slowly.
Got me going crazy
Like
got me going,
effects if I do it too much.
got me going crazy got me going crazy.
Basically. Because then you get the maximum contrast. 2 dB, you don't really notice, but you can feel the difference when it hits. So it's just the mixing thing.
But we have some strings crescendoing.
Oh,
Was
yes.
it? Are they playing a scale? Can you solo that for me?
That's like
Got me going crazy like don't mind got good shape.
it's actually just a sample. It's a cluster of something.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
It's going on, but we don't need that minor thing. But let's cut it. On my G's.
Don't mind got good shape and take me on my juice.
I try to mix in like classical stuff when possible, like timpanis and strings and like in the G9 I can do it a lot. But I got some here as well, like the RPG stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh, trill.
Trill. Half-tone trill.
You should say what you said to me, how you mix in Christmas in every single song that you write.
I do.
And then you erase 98%.
Yeah. And
Where was the Christmas in this?
isn't
it
it
those
Christmas
bells?
though? Yeah, the bells are for sure Christmas.
Yeah.
And also like the pre-chorus. It's not maybe it's Sad Christmas.
Yeah,
It's Nightmare Before Christmas.
exactly.
Since I am dead, I can take off my head to recite Shakespearean quotations.
Oh, got me go-
Sad Christmas.
Just soloing that, I'm imagining just a dark haunted house
Yeah.
vibes, which they did so well to emanate in the music video. Just everything came together.
Oh,
Really
the
good.
music video. Yeah, it was a lot of fun
Amazing.
to shoot.
Those were closing walls, right?
Yeah, they were. So what it was it was just like two walls and then people behind the walls and I'm in the middle and they're just like pushing in and out, in and out. And that's
cool.
that's what it was.
Your mixing, Simon, is so musical on this, and the acoustic instrumentals pop at the right moments. The dynamic shifts are more dramatic than what you'd hear in a mainstream pop song. So you did such a wonderful job with this. Is there like a favorite moment that you had a really fun mixing in this song?
Actually, I hate mixing. Mixing is like cleaning the toilet.
Oh, that's
You just fix stuff,
actually, yeah, that's true, huh?
So I just produce it really clean, so I don't have to mix it.
Oh no, I recently asked him to mix a song for me because I love his mixing style.
I know. I mean,
and like we talked about this.
I mean, it could be fun. Like I mix their loops, and I mix like you, but I don't mix a lot of stuff.
that's
like,
true, yeah.
Because if you don't like the music and you're just cleaning up someone's, mess.
My recording arts professor described it as building or perfecting, putting the little sprinkles on the cake. But I guess you could also call it cleaning up the toilet.
Because I mean, yeah, I think especially if you're a producer, I would rather like spend time producing and writing songs.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. Like
it is a cleaning process.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, so for like a producer, his creativity is on the producing.
Yeah.
And then for a mixer, that's where their artistry comes out.
I think if I didn't produce, I would maybe like mixing.
Yeah.
Because it's like.
But you're so good at it. That's why I wanted to ask you to clean my toilet.
Have you ever kept in any times where you had to go back and because Sam was singing or doing like a little like yeah, that type of stuff, and did you end up keeping it in? Have you ever done that?
All the time?
Oh, that's like 90.
That's like the candy.
Yeah. Like, oh, I just had it. I just got it, man. I just had it.
That was like a fail. You played maybe guitar.
Yeah, I was like...
I
just had it. And there's like a bunch of moments like that where, like Simon said, I'll be practicing for it, and then I'll tense up and I'll be like, all right, I'm ready. Hello, I'm gonna sing. But the more chill version sounds better, so he'll use the retro perspective Spectrum Designer recording, and then he'll cut the one that I tried less on, and it'll sound better. And so there's a bunch of candid moments like that.
Sam, do you get a final say for the mix?
It's freaking amazing. That's all I have to say about it.
That's all you say? You just listen, you're like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So we are nearing the end of the interview now, but fans, please stick around till the very end because we have a nice little surprise for you. But okay, when writing The Juice, there are several different emotions fans experience when listening to it because of all the different sounds and influences and details. So if you could assign one emotion to each section of the song, what would it be? Or maybe adjective or emotion.
For me, as the lyricist, I would say the storyline of the song is pretty much like, okay, at first I'm in denial. It's like, oh, people are telling me I've changed. People are telling me like, oh no, I don't want to hear it. I really don't want to. I don't want to deal with it. It's kind of like that. And then it's like, you know the multiple stages of grief. I would pretty much say it's that.
Okay.
And then at the end it's just like acceptance, where it's like, you know what, I'm freaking sexy, you know, I got good looks and I look
Feeling
clean.
Myself.
You know, don't you look back and don't you mind me. What's the use?
Okay.
What's the juice? You know what I mean? As the lyricist, that's my point of view.
I can't edit anything. I never think in words.
Right.
I might see like pictures or emotions, but like no, I'm way too shallow. I would say like this is the funky verse, this is the spooky pre, this is Bruno Marsy, chorus.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been an absolute joy. So last but not least, please talk about the other projects you guys have been working on, if you're allowed to talk about them.
Yeah, These Walls. That's the song that I was referencing. He cleaned that toilet for me.
Sorry.
These Walls is.
I mean, it was fun. It was a good song.
It was. I remember like I was like. And it's just like so jumpy and energetic that I wanted him to mix it for me. There's that, and then Love Me Like That was another song that I wrote years ago, and it came out on this drama, and I remember listening to it for the first time that everybody else got to listen to it on the drama, and just remembering how I felt during that time when I was writing it. And I remember feeling the same thing, like this song is garbage. I remember feeling that way. And when I was listening to it with a new perspective and fresh set of ears, I was like, wow, this is a really good song. It's really sweet. If anybody is out there, that went through the same struggles as I did, and I'm sure everybody will at one point or another know that, your music isn't shit. It's not garbage. Just believe in the process, believe in yourself, and everything will kind of figure itself out, That's another tangent. I don't really have anything else to say. I want to release Rainy Days and Healer really soon, and that's pretty much it.
I just mixed their loops like new EP. No, everything is secret. Like all song camps, it's just it comes out whenever it comes out. So I'm so sorry.
Definitely Rainy Days, Healer. Like the songs that we wrote back then. Like I want to release an album with like those songs. You know what I mean? Like I can't wait for people to actually hear the official, because there's only like lives of me singing it.
We'll wait patiently for that.
We have a little treat, if we can call it that. we rearranged the juice a little bit as a little surprise. And yeah, we hope you enjoy. Here's the juice. Cause I just had it, man. I just had it. I know I did. What do you think? Damn.
내가 좀 변했대. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. 솔직히 말할게. Guess I think about it. 사랑에 빠진 얘가 또 아냐. But I think about it one night. 요새 찾는 만화 왜 이래. 무슨 바람이 불었는지 don't you say that. Gotta get away, blah, blah, blah. Like, ooh, got me going crazy like. Got me going crazy like. Got me going crazy like. Oh my God, good shit, but blame it on my choice. Never wanna hold you back, don't lean on me. 뒤처지는 내 모습 I'm singing blues. 잘 지내 난 똑같이 쌓여가는 red message. 사라질 때까지 또 run away. So they tell me, Sam, yeah, we understand. Okay, yeah, yeah. I'm sick of hearing all the things that people had to say. Like we love you, man. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Leave me be for just one night. 맘대로 할래 시간 흐르는 대로 그냥 내버려두게 도망. 지고 싶어도 도망. 가림이 없는 실망. 시키는 shake dopey, dopey. Yeah, you wanna survive. Yeah, you wanted to stay. Yeah, you wanna survive. And you can't run away. Like, ooh, got me going crazy like. Got me going crazy like. Got me going crazy like. Oh my God, good shit, but baby, I'm a juice. Never wanna hold you back, don't lean on me. 저가는 I'm singing blues. 잘 지내 넌 똑같이 쌓여가는 red message. 사라질 때까지 또 run away, run away. So what's the use? Oh no, 도망치다 이렇게 끝나겠어. Oh no, 다 벌써 no, no, I don't know what to say. Don't know what to say. Bring the beat and soul. 내가 좀 변했대. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I never change, shouldn't think about it. Don't run away. Okay, blah, blah. Got me going crazy, baby. I'm a juice. Never wanna hold you back, don't lean on me. 저가는 I'm sick of you. 잘 지내 and I feel love. 뒤덮인 my 사고 싶어. I'm taking all my juice. And she wanna see me make it. And she wanna see me make it. And she wanna see all my juice, all my juice. I got good looks and I look clean. Don't you look back and don't you mind me. What's the use? What's the juice? What's the juice?
Wow, bravo! That was everything that I imagined and more.
What's the juice, baby? What's the juice?
What's the juice?
What's the use?